working offshore, living on a ship at the time, and I got bored, so I started going to the gym, and I just fell in love as soon as I picked up the dumbbells.
Hmm. Well, that's pretty good. It's tough, to hear about you splitting up because my parents were together for 55 years, even though they were still legally married. But sometimes relationships change. So, what really got you seriously into competitive competing besides just the breakup?
Well, I was training for a little while with somebody while I was at work, and they said I was actually doing really well. And said that if I was serious about it, when I went home, I best get my ass in a bodybuilding gym. So I found one, walked in when I got home, and I just loved it straight away. The atmosphere, the guys in there, and everything. And I met my current coach, and that's where he trained. Got to know him, and straight away just got into the whole wanting to get on stage. They told us all about it, and I just thought, yeah, I've got a really competitive nature as well, so I've always been into sports. And when I do something, I never do it by half, so I've always got to like go all the way. So yeah, I just went for it.
Hmm. So, you didn't want to be half-assed. You really were committed to this because
I
bodybuilding.
don't, I can't half-ass things. Like there's just no point.
Yeah, I mean, who's your coach? And are you still? Is he still the same coach you with, or you got a new coach?
No, I've had the same coach for almost 7 years now. His name is Brett Angus. He runs Death Rex personal training.
Oh, that's good. Good. That's a good relationship you have for 7 years. That's almost like being married again, huh? you know, but yeah, it's good that you found that right person that motivates you and get to it. So, what was your first show, and what division you was before you went to women's bodybuilding?
My first show was back in 2021. I did the Manchester show for the PCA in trained figure.
Mhm. And PCA people
Um,
don't. A lot of people that know PCA is the Physique Culture Association. That's I think it's kind of growing worldwide. I just seen recently a lady by the name Tina Rodriguez who was competing there. She finally got a pro card at the Amateur Olympia a couple of days ago, and I know a couple other competitors who are doing that divisions. It's starting to grow a bit, in
yeah,
across the world a bit.
it's pretty big over here. The PCA. It's the two biggest ones are PCA and Two Bros, like NPC. So
Mhm. So, what was the division you were competing in at the time when you did make your PCA debut?
trained figure.
So you had to wear the high heels.
Yeah, that was an experience.
I had heard quite a few stories of ladies who got the division say some ladies they love their high heels. One woman told me like she like sometimes walks on a treadmill with her arms. Others they can't stand them.
Really?
Once they yeah she true story. She was a figure competitor and she when she sometimes what she did was to help her practice. She'll walk on a treadmill in her high heels. Hey,
Hats off to her because I can't even walk in them normally. Never mind on the treadmill.
yeah, I know. I've heard some crazy stories, and they pretty much are true. But and what happened to the show? What was the what was what like the experience of it for you at that time?
Um, what like how did it go?
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. There was me and two other ladies in my category. Um, they had been competing for years. Um, and I was really nervous backstage because I don't do crowds. I don't do a lot of people. And I thought I was going to hate being stared at by loads of people. But as soon as I walked on that stage, I loved it. Like I didn't even want to get off stage when I was done. Like that feeling when you get up there, it's just it's hard to describe. I've never had a feeling like that before. It's just amazing.
Hmm. Well, you actually you were
Um,
an athlete when you were younger, so you never. What sports did you play when you were younger?
Football, you Americans call it soccer.
Yeah.
I was big into that as a kid. You wouldn't see us without a football at my feet when I was a little kid.
I played football. We played American football. We had to wear the pads and stuff, But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a very popular sport. I think especially for the women, y'all really do pretty well in that sport. and and that's the thing is, but you're an athlete, and this is opportunity, and compared to team sports, this is a solo sport. You're out there on the stage, and you're being looked at and judged, and then that feeling. Some ladies say they get nervous because like you said again, you don't like to be around crowds, but then that feeling you get out there when you got people looking at you and applauding you, and I know family and friends would there support you, and it's just sometimes it's just good when you feel like I think I found my place.
Oh yeah, definitely. I felt that as soon as I got on stage.
hmm Well, we have here. Shout out to my man Emmanuel. He coming through. Appreciate brother for coming through. He says this. He says hi George. Hey there, brother. Also, he says this. He says hey Ash. Hope you are well. It's Emmanuel here. Yeah, shout out to Emmanuel. Thank you for coming through. So yeah. So what made you you were in figure? What made you decide to switch over to other divisions?
I wanted to go to women's bodybuilding from the minute I started. As soon as I figured out I wanted to compete, I told my coach I wanted to be massive. I knew I wanted to be massive straight away, but obviously I had just started out, so we had to go up through like the categories first. Um, so once we finished that season, it was just a case of get into off season and just try and put on as much mass as possible.
Yeah, it's a process because you know what, you just don't go straight into it thinking that, oh, I'm gonna be Andrea Shaw. It takes time to grow. You say, let's start
Oh
off.
yeah.
Let me start off with like this, and then we go this, and then go that. You know.
Yeah, it's like all the pros say and everything, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. Like it's took me about 7 years to get to where I am now, and
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So
Yeah, you still got a ways to go because that's the thing is about you don't want to rush it too fast because you can easily burn out. As you know, a while back we had like some bodybuilders pass away because people always go. Here's one thing about bodybuilding: people always go point fingers about it. It's the use of performance enhancers, be it steroids,
yeah,
be it this or that. But here's the thing: is there's other sports use it. Like here in the states, a few years ago, there was a big old senatorial congression hearing about steroids in baseball. And hey, these guys are billionaires. They can do whatever they want. Most millionaires
yeah,
might as well say they can do whatever they want. And say it's cheating. It's not cheating if you use it for rest, recovery, for the process.
yeah.
That's what people don't understand. That what's
That's
cheating
the
is there?
thing. There's so much lies going around about steroids, and a lot of people are with a lot of things in life. Once they hear something, they believe it. Um, and I've had people turn around to me and say, "Well, I could look like you if I take steroids." I'm like, "Okay, then I'll give you my list of what I take. I'll tell you how I train, and I'll tell you what I eat. You go off do exactly what I do for a year. Come back in a year's time, and I guarantee you won't look like me."
That's
It's
thing.
there's just so much people don't understand.
That's what people don't want to take the time into research or really into investigate or something. They just make by assumptions. Like same thing. People have told me that people have confronted with people have done interviews say, George, if they take the shit I take and don't follow the regimen, the consistency, the discipline that I do, then they're not going to look like me. They're going to look like shit.
Yeah,
It takes a lot
I've
of work.
seen I've seen loads of guys in the gym and they hammer steroids and they still look like they don't even train because they don't eat right or they're just messing about in the gym and stuff and they're not actually living their lifestyle. So the hammer and gear basically just for no reason.
Yeah. They come and say, "You live, bro? You live, bro? Do you live, bro?" I mean, that's what you want to ask. Why you look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? So it be
Either that or skinny bitch.
I hate skinny people. I'm a fat man. We got here from a man Emmanuel. Shout out to him. He says, "Question for Ash: Is bodybuilding is an art form as much as it is a sport and lifestyle to you?"
Um, yeah, because at the end of the day, your body is you're sculpting your body to how you want it to look on stage and presenting it on stage with your posing and your routines. And everything. It is, yeah, it is an art form.
Yeah, because you think about it, you're your own artist because your body is like you're like a canvas. It's always more stuff to put onto it, add onto it. I mean, everything that's involved from your diet to your rest to your posing. to your workout. It's a part of that art. It's like the other, it's like the brushes and the paints that the artists use, or if you're a sculptor, the chisel or the hammer. It's like it was this quote for his movie. It was Rocky, no, Rambo 3, where Troutman said to Rambo, I found this piece of granite, like an artist. And he says, and you start chipping off all the rough edges, and then you get the statue. It was there, but just had to chip away everything else here and there just for it to come out.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
just pretty much how it is. Yeah.
Hmm. So like this, but anyway, folks, what we're gonna do here while we got Ashley here, oh sorry, Ash. It's just, I like it. It's just, I don't call you Ash because he's such a pretty name, but I respect to say Ash. But what we're gonna do is go jump into social media for a bit, and if you want to follow her, her links inscription of this live stream. If you want to support her, also I put in her PayPal because bodybuilders it's a explicit sport, and
Oh, it
donations can
is.
help
Yeah.
anything. But here's the thing, guys. If you do that, guys, which is one thing, and there's no fish you Ash. I do this because, guys, don't be weird. No D pics, no crazy shit, no requests for crazy shit. Do it because you want to do it. Be
Yeah.
respectful.
And just a word of warning, and if you do send a dick pic, Instagram are going to see it.
I know they told me that she started doing this. Sometimes she started putting books late in books, for D pics. So we on Ash's IG, so you want to follow the link description. And here she is, and this is wow. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm going to miss my crime here, Ashley. Ash, I am a muscle person. I just love y'all ladies. It's just so exciting. This is a nice picture. Who took this?
I did with my tripod. That was a check-in while I was working away from a coach.
All righty. And here she is. And this was your last show. Which years was this one? You look like you're so happy. You about to cry.
That was 2023, the last season I competed. That was at the Shrew Classic NPC in London when I won women's physique and women's bodybuilding.
So were you the overall winner or were you just the class winner?
The class winner that didn't actually do an overall.
Oh, wasn't there enough competitors, or was the issue with that?
I'm not sure. I was the only one in women's bodybuilding, so sadly, that tends to happen in the UK. Women's physique, there was only a few of her. I think they still could have done an overall, but for some reason they didn't do one for women's physique.
Yeah, I know. Like some shows, I've seen some ladies who just be the only competitor because there's not a lot of women. Why in women's bodybuilding? Sometimes it be so few women's physique because the numbers are not as high. I think they pay more attention to divisions like figure, wellness, bikini. Because they're very more aesthetically feminine and pleasing. But y'all ladies are still feminine and pleasing. Am I right? And here she is.
Yeah, see,
Go ahead.
physique is starting to get a little bit bigger in the UK now. I think there's a few more competitors starting to come along. So
Yeah. Here she is working out in the gym. Right, look at the guns. Look at the guns, son. Which is your favorite workout when you're in the gym?
legs,
Oh my God, you're a mutant.
leg day all day long.
You're a mutant, Ash. You're a freak. Who likes leg
Mm,
day? Come on. Honestly, who likes
psychos.
leg day? Yes, psychos. You gotta be. I mean, but you're not the only one. I have some ladies say they love it because they love how it makes them feel, how it makes them push their levels. But what's the one you don't
Yeah,
like? What's your least favorite?
on day.
Now that's the one I think that's the one some ladies like the most. That and back. Those
I
usually.
find arms just so boring. Like I like to go balls to the wall, old school in the gym and throw heavy weights around and try to kill myself pretty much. So arms, I just get so bored. But
Yeah.
arms is the one thing that I've had to bring up since my last show. So I've had to make a point of trying to enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not about enjoying it. It's about knowing what you need to do to make those next levels, especially as a competitor, especially if you want to shoot for your pro
Yeah.
card. It's a process again, as we said. It's about the work. Here she's doing her favorite thing, leg day. I mean, my favorite episode. It was a. If you ever saw a show, Chappelle's show back in the day, There was an episode where Dave Chappelle was doing an impersonation of Rick James. The Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories about Rick James. There's a part where they go back to Eddie's house, and Rick's on Eddie's couch saying, "F your no, now fuck your couch, Eddie Murphy, fuck your couch." And Eddie and Charlie beat up his legs and says, "Where my legs, Eddie Murphy?" And Dave Chappelle dragged himself out of the house. That's how leg day for a bodybuilder. It's like you drag yourself out of the gym.
Pretty much.
Now, it's
If you're not
gym.
dragging yourself out of the gym, you've not trained legs properly.
I mean, I don't know. But I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I gotta be careful. But like I said, your last show, what was the critique from the judges? What they told you that you need to work on and things that you think is your strongest suit?
They wanted my arms bigger, and they wanted us leaner.
Yeah, that's the thing is, especially if you're in physique, they want that lean look, the condition. But then if you're women's bodybuilding, they want more fullness in the shoulders, the as they call it, the muscle bellies. It's
Yeah,
just each
it's.
division. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, the bigger you are, the harder it is to get that balance between the size and getting shredded without losing like your fullness and your mass at the same time. It's a balancing act.
Yeah, that's the tough part about it because you have to either I got a thing called quiver exchange. In order to obtain something of either equal or somebody says say lesser, but I say greater value, you have to lose to obtain one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, you look very impressive. I mean, so 2023
Thank
we
you.
last time you competed. So what's the plan this year?
Right. Well, the original plan was I was going to do Romania Muscle Fest this year, but I ended up in hospital earlier on this year, so that scrapped those plans. Um, so the plan now is I will be competing in April, which we've already started getting ready now. Prep doesn't officially start till December, but we've already started getting shredded and stuff. And so I will be doing a NPC Two Bros regional on the 4th of April, and then I'm going to be doing FIBO 2 weeks later.
Okay, the FIBO, that's like one of the like kind of like it's like kind of like the all-star game for bodybuilding. Is Olympia's like Super Bowl, and FIBO's kind of like that mid-season event, especially for bodybuilding. I mean, one thing I wish they did had you had it back in the day was women's bodybuilding competitor. I remember one year, a few years ago, when Helen Trevino, when she stepped away from the sport, she came back, and that was just the show she came back was the FIBO. We had women's bodybuilding, but now they just I think figure and I think most of the other more feminine divisions, but it's just I think it should be more like if you look at shows like the Arnold Classic, how it pushed out divisions like figure, physique, even women's bodybuilding. It's just I think some of these shows should represent more, especially since women make up good majority of the sport. And even now, it's going to get a little expanded because now you have a new division. Excuse me, fit model coming. I mean,
I don't think you want to get me started on that one.
go ahead, come on, Ash, come on.
It's
It's like other
it's
guy. Share with me. Tell me. That's what
right.
I'm
Okay, then. Fine, fair enough. If anybody's watching who's in this category, sorry, not sorry. Um, it's not bodybuilding, is it? Like, come on, it's basically women who have lost a lot of weight and put a bikini on and decided to do like prance around on the stage. Like, come on, it's just another way for the federations to make more money. That's all it is, to get more competitors on the stage. But it's not bodybuilding. Like, to me, bodybuilding is figure upwards. Like a bikini, it's just not. Like, you do. I mean, don't get us wrong. There is some fantastic bikini competitors out there who you can tell have hammered the gym, who do have a fantastic physique. And you look at them and it's like, yeah, you do train. But then the mass majority of them, you see them, it's not bodybuilding.
Yeah, I get your point. I've interviewed a couple of ladies that fit model. One lady just competed at the Olympia amateurs just a couple of days ago, and she was going over what she was going through, what she would tell her, and I was listening to it. Her name is Amy, and I said, "Wow, how did she describe it? Like they want you to do this and this? That sounds like she be doing bikini or figure, or if you look at the girls in wellness." So those girls are mostly either what bikini, figure, or even physique, But I understand again, yes, because it's about being more mainstream. But here's the thing is about this.
Yeah,
After a while, that division is going to evolve like bikini. So here's the thing like this. What's the point of having that? It's gonna end up being like the division is now. You can either do this. You can hey let's like just turn your bikini into the like. Here's the thing: is I'm seeing women in figure that should do physique. I'm seeing physique competitors do women's bodybuilding. If you're going to have this
yeah,
division, it's going to evolve like that. Well, just get rid of bikini altogether, or have it move up to become the new figure division.
yeah. I just had the same conversation with a couple of friends in the gym yesterday that at the moment I've seen a lot of women who are doing women's bodybuilding who should really be in women's physique, and then you get a lot of women who are doing physique who really should be in bodybuilding. And it's happening in a lot of categories as well. It's not just those two. And I know people have the category that they want to be in, but it's not always the case of how your physique is going to tell you where you should be. Like somebody can say, I want to be classic, but if you don't have a classic physique, then you're not classic. You've got to go down the road where your physique wants to take you as well. Like it's in 2023 when I went and did women's physique for my regional. There's not I don't know any other women's physique women up here, so I had no one to compare myself to. And then I got to the show, and I was twice the size of the women's physique girls on stage. Like we thought I was women's physique, and we didn't realize how much bigger I actually was. And we're like, whoa, like so that's why obviously I went to women's bodybuilding. I do not have the physique for women's physique.
Yeah, and I know that's a tough game. Like I said, you're in the UK, and even though there are quite a few UK bodybuilders like Lisa Cross, Jimmer, we just talked about her, Jimmer Lancaster, some others I follow, but still, when it comes down to amateur level, it's not as big opportunities compared to if you look at divisions like wellness figure or even bikini. And again, it's about how the athlete wants to grow. When you get into the sport, understand that it's hard to stick to that one division for a while unless you're that person who's naturally genetically, preferable to that division. But then if you grow and start putting on that size, getting those muscle bellies, getting that definition, then that should be the time for you to say, you know what, let me really think about where I want to be at. If I stay here, then I'm not going to go as far. But if I go here, I can go a little farther.
Yeah, it's like I know he's like number one in the world, but look at Keon right now, Keon Prodigy. Like he's 2-1-2. But if he jumped into Oprah right now, he would cause some damage.
Mm-hmm. Right now, the top of this guy named Urs. He's from Germany, and people
Yeah,
say I think I saw this that Sean I know his last name, but he bothered me for a long time. How he said that Sean Ray said that he shouldn't be doing the Mr. Olympia, but again, this is about him. The guy won 2 shows back to back.
yeah. Well, my opinion on that is I don't think he should have won. That's just my opinion. And though that's another thing of bodybuilding, it's about opinions. Everybody's got them. In my opinion, I don't think he should have won. Like his back it just wasn't good enough.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, think about it. You gonna be up against guys like your fellow countryman Samson Dua, Romney's not competing this year, but I know Heidi's competing. You got guys like Nick Walker, uh,
Cognac.
Pontiac. Also, I actually met him. I went to Tampa. A friend of mine, Eunice. I got anytime I mention her name, Eunice runs a company called Bad Rap. They're a company that mostly
Yeah,
do clothing lines and stuff for women in bodybuilding, and the moniker is big and defined, ripped and pumped. We like the rip part. And he came to the booth 2023 Mr. Olympia, Derek Lungford. He came. I didn't see dude that short, but he's massive. And
yeah. That's the thing. Like you don't realize the size of these people until you see them in real life. Like, I've got a photo of me standing next to Samson Dwada. He was at my show in 2023 in London, and oh my God, his arm was like twice the size of my head. Like honestly, like I'll send you later. I'll show you. He's massive. and he's even bigger now. I just couldn't believe the sheer size of him.
Wow, I mean, I remember when I was at Tampa, I got to meet the guy, the legendary Mr. Kevin LeBron, and back in the day, he was a pretty Ricky of men's bodybuilding, and and it's different when you see these guys up close and personal, and I mean, and it was just a great experience to go to Tampa. Shout out to Eunice. We have here from my man Emmanuel. He has a question he wants to ask. He says, "Question for Ash: What's your thoughts on men who support female bodybuilding?"
I'm all for it as long as you don't turn into a pervert.
All right, thank you. We appreciate because as you know, let's get my crowd so much personal. We just love y'all ladies, y'all silence. But there are some people who are not a fans of it. Like like when you're out and about, what's your experience like? Especially as you're not much of a very I would say you're more of an introvert. You say that.
Oh yeah, I like my peace. I like my quiet, and I tend to just stick to my routines. Tend to go to the same places, and I chill at home a lot. Um, Whenever I go anywhere, even the gym, even if I go to a bodybuilder's gym, I'm constantly stared at all the time. Like, I don't mind people looking, I can understand looking, but like if you're in the gym trying to train and there's a guy standing there literally eyeballing you for about 2 minutes, it gets a bit annoying. Um, it's everywhere I go, and then obviously, as you can see, I'm not a girly girl. I'm a tomboy. I like baggy clothes. I've got short hair, so I tend to get a lot of shit when I go into like female restrooms and stuff. And the last time I competed, 2023, I went absolutely viral because of um, the regional show. I'm not sure if you saw that online, but that was a bit intense. So yes, but it's annoying and it does your head in sometimes. But after a while, you just get used to it and you just brush it off.
Well, you shouldn't have to, because you know what? People make assumptions about other people. If you don't really know somebody and talk to them like, I'm a fat dude. I know I'm a fat dude. I probably got titties bigger than you. And, and, but here's a true story about myself. A few years ago, I had a heart attack. It was
Oh,
11 years,
really?
it was 11 years ago. And I was on my job. And then, you know what? I got a pacemaker after that, it was a few months after that. And then my mom got sick and I was taking care of her. But I've been a Bobby fan for a long time, since I can remember. My brother he used to be like here in our hometown. He was not a soccer star. He was a American football star here, and he used to always get the muscle mags. And look at these muscle mags and follow them like people like the Lee Heenies and the your fellow countryman Dorian Yates and a lot of bodybuilders. And then, as I said, when I got to my teenage years, young women kind of excite me. And doing this content helped me when I was taking care of my mom. My mom's been gone for about 5 years now. And this, what I do gives me a purpose. Like being a bodybuilder yourself gives you a purpose.
Yeah.
And the stories I hear about what y'all ladies go through, it's just, to me, it's a damn shame how people act. But the thing is, people don't know any better. You don't take a chance that, hey, just,
Mm, mm, that's not completely true, though. I mean, when it's just normal people, fair enough. But when you're actually getting all that shit from people in the industry, now that's a different kettle of fish.
mhm. That's worse.
Like,
It's like self-hatred
yeah,
almost in a way.
yeah, like 2023, that show, I got on stage, women's physique. I was next to one of the lads, and she was half the size of me. Right? I was huge. Like, the pictures are on my Instagram. It's the one with the green background, the photos that I sent you.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that.
I got off stage, and literally within minutes of getting off stage, my phone went ballistic. I was getting accused of being trans because of the size of us. The people were saying that I was originally a man, which obviously blatantly wasn't, because if I was, one, I would say so. Two, I wouldn't be competing in women's bodybuilding, and three, I think they'd have noticed when I was naked backstage.
Because you got to get spray
But
tan.
yeah, you're completely naked backstage. You can't hide nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, it went completely viral, man. And the people in the industry were like giving us shit, calling us trans, like giving us abuse. And bearing in mind, I'm still in prep year. So I was actually getting ready to go and try and get my pro card in London. And the phone was literally, I had to disengage my Instagram and everything. I had to
yeah.
just, and then eventually I actually had to do an interview with a reporter. to try and shut everybody up, which didn't really work. But I gained a good 1,000 followers from it, so thanks for that.
That's the thing. There's always a silver lining under a dark cloud. And thing is,
Yeah,
I think people's curiosity outranks their basic decency and common sense. You know,
there's
if
not much
you
common sense in the world these days.
yeah, that's one thing. I'm a country boy. I may not have book smarts, man, but I do have a little thing called common sense. Here we get here from my man. Shout out to my man Email. Thank you for sticking here, brother. He says another question for Ash. Would you say that female bodybuilding is a physical representation of symbolism of female empowerment to you, or is it that not the case?
Um, Never really thought about it that way, to be fair.
Yeah, he got the
Um,
big questions. You know that?
yeah, it's that's delving a little bit deep into it. It's like for me, it's not really that deep. Um,
Well, I think with him,
so
he's a fan of the sport. He's
yeah,
a fan of you ladies. And some of these guys, like I said again, they're like here. You have guys who just generally like you. Like again, they look at these women like yourself. Like a good example is one person who's she knows she's going for her sixth title. You know, and that is I call it. She's my girlfriend, and that is Andrea Shaw. I think she's just so amazing, and she represents what's I think she's the woman who really brought new life to bodybuilding when it was struggling. And a few years ago when they were being pushed out of shows, like we talked about, the Arnold
yeah,
classes doesn't happen anymore. Um, Getting pushed out of shows like the Olympia. But then one guy who came along, I'm always gonna bring him up, is my man, Mr. Jake Wood. I gotta say this, I gotta do the time I say it about yo Jake, I want that money, I want that gun. Shout out to Jake Wood. He stepped in and gave it new life. And that's the thing is that we see y'all ladies as something where some people either admire what y'all do because it takes a lot to do what you do. The sacrifice, the time you got put into it, the discipline, the persistence, the consistency. Most people don't have that mentality. Most people, like especially younger people, they want everything quick, fast, in a hurry.
yeah, yeah. You see, I do love it when you see bigger females come along, like women's physique and women's bodybuilding, and more people coming up through the ranks because like I know what it takes to get that size. And when you see other women doing it, it's like, yes, come on, like fuck the bikini and everything. Oh, well, we need bigger girls in the world, man.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, there's some ladies who right now I've seen that she's going to women's bodybuilding, and they should probably do well. I've said again, some women figures should go up. I mean, you just recently saw Christina Mendoza. She's switching over to wellness, and a friend of mine,
Yeah,
she's going to do. I said, tell her, nah, she's going to need a lot more time because she has to change her overall look. She has to drop a lot of muscle. She has to go 3 times more on her leg work because there's women right now in figure whose legs are more dominant in women in bodybuilding. It's about the evolution, how you grow. You're gonna need that time. Like right now,
yeah.
Shanique Grant, who's been a 2-time Miss Olympic physique champion, she's now doing women's doing wellness, and she was really good. I think because I think with her, she's a little younger. She had that time off and maybe just enjoy life and do what she want to do. Maybe that switch. But that's the thing about that. It's about the development of something. So one thing is interesting about you is your career. What do you do for a living? Explain for everybody who do not know, understand.
Okay. For the last 14 years, I've been an offshore wind turbine technician.
Hmm. So it's like windmills out in the ocean.
Yeah, like all those you guys have got tons of them onshore, like on dry land over there. And
Yeah,
so
right.
basically, they're just bigger versions of those in the sea.
Right now, our president feels that they're a bad thing. He's an idiot. Yeah, but yeah, I think countries like Holland been doing it for years. Women technology has been around for centuries. It's not nothing new. But what got you starting with that? That's very interesting, especially for a woman.
Um, oh, I'm just a massive adrenaline junkie. Like literally anything in life that could probably kill you, I'll probably give it a give it a go. Um, and I used to live in the countryside when I was with my ex, and I used to drive past them every day, and I just thought that'd be a cool job. Um, so I went for it and got it.
That's good, good. I'm not Mr. Every day for me, walking out the door is gamble for me. I mean, I'm like this. I'm a homebody a bit myself, but it's good that you found this. I mean, I mean, it's good technology because you know what? Now we depend too much on fossil fuels and other things. I mean, it's a lot safer, and wind is everywhere. I mean, right now where I live in the states, North Carolina, it's starting to get a little cooler because summer's over.